Cup of Joe with Grampa Dez. Hey, Scott, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good, man. I'm much more looking forward to this than I was this episode of Raw. So this is great.
Yeah, we're putting this on opposite Raw, so all the people that are bored with that can come over and check us out, and maybe even send in some comments once I get this stupid link up. My computer's been acting up on me all day. We were going to get going at nine Eastern, and the reason we're not is because of my stupid computer. So I'm thank you for being patient with me, and yeah, you're doing good. How was your Christmas?
Oh man, Christmas was fantastic. My little guy, he had a blast. He got all kinds of Paw Patrol stuff. So all
Whoa, whoa,
day,
whoa,
all
whoa!
I've been
Hold on, hold
hearing
on,
is
hold on,
Paw
hold on,
Patrol.
hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on. Your little
Uh-oh.
guy?
Yeah, I got a
You
little
you have a
guy.
kid? I
Yeah,
had no idea.
yeah, he's 2 years old. Little Grayson.
Awesome. I had now that's obviously where WWE came up with the name for Grayson Waller. I assume so. But
Well, I
I
do want to say the first name that came to mind was obviously Von Wagner. I thought of that a long time
so
ago.
so you were gonna
So
call him Wagner?
yeah, I was gonna call him Von actually, Big V.
Oh, cool. Or well,
No.
that I mean, that could also be for Viscera. Is he a big? Is he
Oh,
a
there you
big?
go.
Is he a kid? Is he a big kid?
He's tall. He's tall and lanky like
Yeah.
me.
Okay, cool. How tall are you?
I'm about 6'1", so I guess I'm not
Okay.
that tall.
No, you're. I mean, for the fight game group, you're a freaking giant. Um, so yeah, I had no idea. Like I probably. I mean, we're getting to know each other probably over the last few months. But I didn't know you had a kid. I know you're a young guy. That's awesome. Let's say so. Little Grayson. I don't know if you post pictures of him. Like probably not nearly as many as I post of Emily. Um,
I
but
post some on Facebook,
okay,
especially like Christmas time and stuff
yeah.
like that. I got some on Instagram. And I said something about it in the Facebook group, in the fight game group, because I think Gigi had put a post about, let's show some Christmas love. I think it was him that put it up.
Oh,
Uh,
okay.
and I was like, I don't take enough pictures, and it kind of made me
I saw that.
realize,
Yeah, I saw that comment.
because it's really cool seeing all the pictures, opening gifts, and I guess I'm more of a video guy. Like I got like
Mhm.
4 or 5 different videos, but they're like 3 minutes long of him opening 2, 3 gifts at a time. I could just be snapping photos, like, so
Yeah.
I just need to be taking more pictures.
And you take a bunch and then you just pick the best ones. I mean, everyone always comments with Emily how she's always smiling. It's like, yeah, she's always smiling in the pictures I post.
Right.
That
Well, you get
she's
good
not.
pictures. You get good
Well,
pictures.
yeah, and her mom too, like especially. Although today it was just me and her. We had a great daddy daughter day. It was my wife was working, so and we had our we have a my cousin comes in and cleans our house every Monday. So we don't want to be here while she's here. So I had a bunch of little errands to run, and we went out for breakfast. So I took her out with me, and we had like a mini blizzard here in Winnipeg.
I
And
saw that.
so yeah, so I had to stop twice to push people out and stuff. And and it's funny because as soon as I do, other people stop their cars, and it's a whole crew, and we get the people moving right away. So it's cool.
Yeah, I did
And
see
then we
those
went up.
pictures of that
Yeah.
snowstorm y'all had. That was
Yeah.
crazy. It was probably like
And
70 degrees, right? The other day.
No, not in Winnipeg.
Oh.
I mean, we get into the high 30s on a really good day in the winter, but
Oh, okay.
yeah, I mean, and I'm using for my Canadian friends, I'm using American for my guest here. Which is, in Celsius, it was -10 today, and we're actually one of the hotter places in Canada, believe it or not.
Oh,
So
wow.
that would be 20, maybe 15 to 20, somewhere in there. But then there's a wind chill too. And my daughter is traveling west, and it's getting colder as she goes west. So she's driving right into the heart of it, but she's only got a week off, and she wants to go see some family out in Alberta. So that's where she's going. Hopefully she'll get better weather on the way back.
No, that's cool.
As
Here in Virginia, like one
Yeah.
day it'll be 70 degrees, and then the next day it'll be 20, 15
Oh,
degrees.
wow.
Oh yeah,
Wow.
it's
So
crazy
so
how
so that's like
drastic the
Alberta.
shift.
That's like Alberta. I mean, if I don't know if you watched the Lance Storm show on Friday, but we were talking about weather too, and he's like, "Yeah, if you don't like the weather in Calgary, just wait an hour, it'll change." And
That's how it
that's
is.
yeah. Here it's just cold and snow. Like we got snow in mid-November, and it won't leave until mid-April. Like that's
Oh
just the way it
wow.
is. Yeah, yeah. So I mean, and it's not the fun snow you can make snowmen with or do snow angels. It just sits there. It's and it gets like it thaws a little bit and then it freezes and it's just like hard and gross and it's almost like ice. Like you can walk on it, except it's like 2 feet high, and it's awful. And then if you don't shovel quick, I mean, it just sticks to your driveway, and then you're like, it's a skating rink and I've got a big driveway, so. So,
Oof.
anyways, man, enough to talk about weather. So, you're a big basketball fan, and I've actually been watching a little bit of basketball because hockey is, on a bit of a hiatus right now because of COVID. But those NBA players, they're just playing through. Um, what's your team?
So I'm gonna get a lot of flack for this. I'm a LeBron guy. So,
Oh, okay. So,
if
whatever team
LeBron's
he's on.
wherever
Yeah.
he goes, I'm there. And what's funny is my second favorite player is Carmelo Anthony. So he's on the
Okay.
Lakers too. So this works out great.
When Melo, what is it? When Melo shoots, Melo don't miss.
Hey, there you go. There you go.
Yeah.
It's probably where he got it from.
I would think so. I would think so. Although the first time he did it, he's like, when Mello shoots, and then he holds up the mic for everybody, and then I'm like,
Nothing
I don't
happened.
know, Mello scores. Like, apparently, he'd been doing that catchphrase for a while, but didn't
He
really catch
hasn't built
on.
up that repertoire,
No,
rapport with the
right?
audience yet.
Yeah, but he's a good dude, good talent.
Very good.
Yeah, they actually Josh Nason from F4W interviewed him just before he signed with WWE. So there's when he was still what's his name, Blake Christian, I think was what he, or no, Christian
Oh wow.
Casanova on the Indies. So yeah, it's a good interview to check out. Like when I heard it, I figured, yeah, this guy's gonna be something. I didn't know what he looked like, but he sounded good, and obviously he looks good. A little on the small side for them, but he should do okay.
Yeah,
Um,
I think
so
he'll be around for a while.
so the Lakers are kind of a bit of tough times right now, eh? Like they're what, seventh?
Are we seventh?
I think
I think we
so.
might
I
be
think
eighth.
so.
It's not looking good.
No, they're
In
imploding, right?
that and see me personally, I think a lot of it falls on AD. I think Anthony
Okay.
Davis has to take a good brunt of this blame. He was supposed to be the guy this year.
Hmm.
LeBron is going to be LeBron. He's going to do what he does, but he can't do that a full season and the playoffs at this age. He's just got too
No,
many
he's what,
miles on him.
38, I think.
37, but he's been
37,
to
yeah.
10 finals in a row.
Yeah.
Well, not in a row, but he went to 10 in a
Yeah.
row. Like he's
He's
got
like
2 more seasons.
45. He's like
Right.
45 in basketball years. Yeah, no, I mean, I've
Exactly.
been watching him. I mean, I'm a grandpa and I've been watching him since my daughter who has a kid was a little tiny kid. I remember him
See?
in high school on ESPN, like in the early 90s, right?
Yeah.
Or no,
Or
late 90s,
2000,
late
2000s.
90s, 2000. Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
late. You know what? I'm kind of mixing up with Shaq because I watched Shaq come up too. I was watching Shaq in high school and at LSU and he was like, and when LeBron started, it was the same thing. It just reminded me all over again, except LeBron was so much better. And in high school, he looked like a man, like
Among
he
boys.
could, he could walk right into the NBA, and he did, and so you've been a LeBron guy since the beginning.
So it's really interesting because I haven't been. I've
Okay.
actually been. I was a Carmelo Anthony fan. Like that was
Okay. Yeah.
my
Yeah.
guy. They're in the same draft class,
Yeah.
and I always felt like Carmelo got the short end of the stick. During his rookie year, he refused to go back in a game. George Karl tried to
Right.
put him back in. He refused to go back in, threw a little fit, and in my opinion, that's what cost him the co-rookie of the year. Because I think if that doesn't happen, he leads Denver to the playoffs. LeBron doesn't make the
Okay.
playoffs, but his numbers are better.
Yeah. I
So I
think I might have
think that would
lost.
have even
Oh,
years. It doesn't really matter in hindsight, but
yeah.
just a little thing like that. But I was a big Melo fan, and I became a LeBron fan the year he lost to the Mavericks, which sounds crazy. The year that he loses the finals, his first year in Miami, but I
Right.
just saw all the hate. and all the
Yeah.
people who just took so much joy watching this guy lose and just watching his misery. And I was like, yo, how can I root against this guy when he's got the entire world rooting against him? And like, so,
Well,
and the next year he came out with a killer, and he was a killer that next year.
and that team was, I mean, that was the first kind of team that the players just decided, okay, we're going to get together the best guys we can get. They had Dwayne Wade, right?
Mhm. It was
And
Wade's team,
the guy from the Raptors,
Chris
Bosch,
Bosh. Yep.
yeah, and one other, right? One
No,
other
that
big
was
name,
that
the
was the
three or
big
just the
three
three?
initially. Yeah, that
Okay, the
was the
big
big
three,
three
yeah,
initially. And then
yeah,
they like from now on they would just kind of sign big role
yeah,
players like a Rashard Lewis, a Ray
yeah.
Allen, guys like that. They had Birdman, who was a solid player for him, Mike Miller, just shooters to spread the floor.
And what they
Um,
win 2 titles in 4 years?
2 titles in 4 years. And I'm
Okay,
not gonna lie, like that first year, that loss, that's a black mark. Like LeBron's
yeah,
got to live with
yeah,
that. That's a bad L. They should have won, but shout out to Dirk. Shout out to the Mavs. They killed it. But what he did that following year, because a lot of players would have took that L, and I don't know if they would have been able to rise from the ashes like that. Like
yeah,
he elevated his game, and to me, that really won me over. And from then on, he was
yeah.
hands down, no question, the best player in the NBA.
I
So
mean, he should have won like 6 MVPs, and he got like what, two?
at
Um,
least 3 or 4,
yeah,
and he was robbed of a defensive player of the year Marcus Saul won. I mean,
yeah,
he was guarding everyone. The year Derrick Rose won his MVP, people forget this guy was guarding Joakim Noah in the post. They would run a pick and roll. He would switch out to Derrick Rose, and he was guarding Rose in those closing moments. Like LeBron had those kind of seasons, but there was just this narrative of him being the villain, and he brought it on himself.
yeah,
Like he
yeah.
he did that to himself, so we got to live with that too. But I just felt like the world was against him, and this man was coming back and still just balling his tail out, man. And
But you say that, and but yet he's such a good ambassador for the league.
yeah,
Like I mean, he's been in the public eye since he was like 13 years old, and he's never really had a slip up, a major slip up. He's had a couple minor ones, and everyone's going to pounce on every single one of them. I compare him to a guy in hockey, and this will be before your time, but I'm sure you know the name Wayne Gretzky. Like
yeah,
he was, I mean, he was in the public eye from the time he was 5 years old. Literally, like from the time he was 10, people were talking about him as the next great player in the NHL. And he debuted at like 17, but he signed for a rival league because he wanted to play pro, and the NHL wouldn't let you play until you were 19. So then they changed the rules to get him in, and so he's in the public eye his whole life. And like literally the only mess up he had, I think, when he was like 21, he had played the New Jersey Devils, and it was their first year in New Jersey, and I think he scored like 7 points, and the Oilers won like 11-2, and then they said, oh, was that a good game? And he says, this is a Mickey Mouse organization. And literally, like, that's what he said, and they just pounced on it. And for years, like, people, oh, Gretzky's such a bad guy because he said that. And meanwhile, it's like one slip up from a 21-year-old kid,
right.
and they just pounced on him over it. And since then, like, he's been like nothing. I mean, the guy's been married, he's got kids, he's like in the public eye, and now he's on TNT with the hockey, and I mean, he's like Mother Teresa. And that's, I can't even imagine. And LeBron is the same. I can't think of anything major that he's ever done other than speak his mind. And he's generally right. Like he was the guy behind the Black Lives Matter movement in the NBA. Without him, it doesn't go anywhere. He's probably responsible for the salaries skyrocketing the way they are. So
and that just player empowerment. And
yeah,
he, like, one thing you said that I think is really important is this guy has been in the public eye since he was a kid, and
yeah,
all the influences that were talking to him saying, hey, won't you come do this? Hey, you can get away with this. Hey, you can do this. You're LeBron James. Even his first few years in the league, he's still a teenager. Like, you know
yeah.
what I mean? Like, he is legit a child in the league, and he's never gotten in any type of serious trouble, and you talk about a guy like Tiger Woods.
Oh,
who is iconic on the same level, if not greater, like if not
or
on a
Jordan.
greater pedestal, or a Jordan, on a
Yeah.
greater pedestal, and they have their skeletons. And I'm not saying LeBron doesn't, because everybody's got their own stuff, but it's nothing that's come to light then to the level where it needs to come to light. Tiger Woods, that was egregious what he was doing.
Yeah.
You know what I
Well,
mean?
that's
Like,
the
that was
thing.
egregious.
When you're that big, they're not even skeletons. I mean,
Yeah, you're
you're
right.
living your
Right.
life in front of the camera. So I mean, we saw Michael Jordan, with his gambling and and the rumors about that's why he left the NBA, because the NBA was going to suspend him and he took, he basically left on his own. That was the rumors. And he hasn't really denied them. And then you saw the documentary and all the, he's a bad guy, like just not a pleasant guy to be around, but he was a great player and
Phenomenal.
I'm sure he's a guy you want on your team. Even Ali, like he had his issues with women, but he became, later on the beloved father figure and the ambassador of sport. But I mean, he was hated, and I think anytime you got a successful guy, they're going to be hated. And I mean, you're known in our group for kind of, taking the opposite side. And I like to do the same thing. And it's not just that we automatically want to take the opposite side. It's just like, for me anyways, I'm not going to speak for you, but, like I look at guys like, that, even a company, like the WWE, everyone wants to bash them and rightfully so. They do a lot of stupid things but I mean, they got to where they are for a reason, and we're all fans of wrestling, in our group, and the people that are watching, probably most of them are wrestling fans. That, if it wasn't for WWE, there probably isn't professional wrestling on TV at this point, so we're all fans because of them. And so everybody, it's all fun to bash WWE now, but so we kind of, quote unquote, stand up for WWE. We're not doing that. Like, if you listen to what we say, like, we're not putting up with their BS, but we're going to praise the things that deserve to be praised, and we're going to criticize the things that deserve to be criticized. And that's why, like, a voice like yours is somebody I listen to, as opposed to somebody that's just going to, slam everything they do. And so I respect your opinion there, and I respect your opinion on other things. So even if it's something I don't know a lot about, I will listen to you, because I think you're going to give me a balanced opinion, and you're not just going to tell me what you think I want to hear. You're going to tell me what you actually think.
Well, and I think that's what makes our group great, is there's so many different opinions and views, and that's what makes up wrestling. Like, that's
Yeah.
the core of wrestling, is different people coming together. Like, in all honesty, there is very few better melting pots than wrestling that can bring
Yeah.
people together and really just unite people. So I think having the different views, and yeah, WWE does a lot of scumbag things, no question. Like, nobody, like you said, nobody's denying that, but they do things that you have to applaud. Whatever the
Yeah.
reason is that they do them, they're done.
Yeah.
Like, they're
Yeah.
still being done. We had more black champions this year, and this is something I talk about all the time, and I'm very proud of that they did this, regardless of why. We had more black champions this year than probably ever in WWE.
And certainly of any company, yeah.
At the highest level,
Yeah.
not tag champions, not IC, at the highest level. Bianca Belair, huge moment with Sasha Banks. Two black women main eventing WrestleMania. Big E, Bobby Lashley, two black champions. Like, how often does that happen?
Strong black champions as well. They're not just
Strong.
token, as we've seen in the past. Like, when
Yes.
Ron Simmons won the belt, it was like they did it to shut people up. It's like, okay, we'll give you a black champion, but he's not going to win. Kofi, Booker T even. They won the title, so you could say somebody won it. The Rock was pushed, but again, he was half Samoan, and and he was also a legacy. But Big E, Bianca, Sasha, and it's funny, and you'll hear people, and I've done it myself. I'll say, oh, I don't even really think about the fact that they're black, but and you've said it, and other people have said it to me. You have to think about the fact that they're black, and you have to realize how much of an accomplishment this is, and how much of a statement this is, to have a black man or a black woman as a face of your company. And it's not just, oh, they're the face of your company and they happen to be black. No, it's a black person as a face of your company. And that's a decision that they made. And for whatever reason, like you said, whether it's because they wanted more black fans, whether it's because it was a socially conscious thing to do, whatever, they're the only ones that are doing it. So, if and it's not like the other companies don't have black people working for them. And again, I'm not necessarily going to criticize them, whatever, maybe they don't think it's the right decision. And again, I think you would not, and I don't want to speak for you, but I would assume you would say you don't want them to make Scorpio Sky the champion just because he's black.
No,
you want them to push him as the top guy. And then by the time he gets to be the champion, then you can say he deserved it. He earns it. He is the man. He's not just a person they put in that place to shut people up.
And speaking of AEW, I think they've done a good job with Jade Cargill. She's somebody I think they've done a phenomenal job with. And, a lot of people may not know this, but I'm biracial. And that's why this is so important to me.
Dante Martin.
Yeah, like my mother was black, my biological father was white.
Okay.
So I never met my father, so I've been raised by my black family my entire life.
I didn't even know you were black until.
See, that's what I mean.
when we did a show together, and then I'm thinking, okay, he sounds like he might be black. And then even when we did a video show at one point, I can't remember what it was, but I saw your face and I'm like, okay, I think he's black, but I'm not sure. The lighting's off, but it doesn't, it matters. And then, it's very clearly when I actually was listening to you more and when I listen to your podcast, it's very clear. And you and Keela have such a great podcast, and it's voices that, I always tell people, you got to listen to this show because it's voices that you don't hear talking about wrestling a lot. And it's a perspective that you need to hear. And not just, because of who it's coming from, but what you're actually saying. And I've been on the show with you and I had so much fun. And I wasn't just blowing smoke up your ass when, the last time we did a show together, I said it was the most fun podcast I've done. And I've done, hundreds in the last couple of years, probably, I haven't counted, but a lot. And that was by far the funnest. Like we just had so much fun talking. And that wasn't even video. So, but it was just, and it felt like, we were becoming friends, and that's cool. So, and I kind of was going to have you on the show anyways, but then when we did that, it's like, I got to have this guy on the show. I want to have Keela on, but I don't think she'll do video. So we'll see, if I can figure out a way to like put up a picture of like Beyonce while she's talking or something, maybe she'll do it.
That might work. Hey, she might go for that.
Yeah. I don't know.
But no, you know what? I'll do you one better.
Okay.
If Keela doesn't want to do video, I think the perfect person to put up is a picture of The Miz.
Oh, there you go. Or
there's nobody. Shout out to Keela, and there's nobody better for her picture than The Miz.
No, there's a better one, and I can't believe you didn't say it.
Von
Wagner.
I think she might like Von Wagner a little bit more.
Okay.
I'm gonna have to ask.
I don't know. But the problem is I don't know how to do it, so I'll have to figure it out. I can do. Let's see. I can do this. I could do. See, let's try this. How does this look? See, I could do this and have her talking. Then, and then I can that Cup of Joe with Grampa Dez thing. I could just have, Von Wagner, doing a body slam or something in that picture. So I'll talk to her. So maybe we can do it. And then it is going to be on audio like this. I am putting it out on podcast. So eventually it would just be audio, and I could just release it as a special audio. Yeah, who knows? So wow, holy crap, we're already 23 minutes.
Yeah,
this time just flies. Eh? Yeah, I know. No, so I wanted music. I want to talk to you about because I have no idea what kind of music you're into, and I'm curious because that's something I really enjoy talking about.
So music wise, I'm kind of like at both ends of the spectrum. I really enjoy country and I really enjoy rap. But I don't like the new rap. I like old school rap. Like I like Pac, I like Big, I like MJ, Wayne.
Yeah.
Old school Drake. Like when he first came
out. You must really like Kid Rock then.
Not really.
Okay.
Yeah,
because
really.
you figure country and rap. That's that's the.
He's got a couple songs I like. There was like old song with Sheryl Crow. I think it's called
Picture.
Yeah,
Picture.
It's a pretty good song.
All Summer Long's a good one.
All Summer Long's really good. Yeah. So he's got a few songs I like, but I wouldn't listen to him. Like
so when you're so old school, say Beastie Boys.
I like a little
not
Beastie
that
Boys.
far back. Okay.
Yeah, a little bit.
Run DMC.
Not that far back.
Okay. Well, that's, I mean, yeah, I guess it depends how far you will go back. Run DMC's Crown Royal is a really good album, and I mean, that's around 2000. So you might want to give that
Oh,
one a
okay.
listen.
I could give
Yeah,
that
it's
one.
called
That's
Crown
all.
Crown Royal. Let me know what you think.
Okay, I could check that out.
There,
Run the
there's a
Jewels. You
yeah,
ever heard
they
of
do
Run
a
the
really
Jewels?
cool cover of Al Green's "Let's Stay Together."
Oh, I
Yeah,
like Al
which is
Green.
yeah, and yeah, so this is like a really cool version, where they rap to that song, and then the chorus is, I don't know who's singing the chorus. It's none of them. But yeah, okay, so Dre, yeah, I'm big Eminem fan.
Yeah, that's my
You know,
guy.
yeah, Limp Bizkit.
Nah,
No,
Lincoln
okay.
Park.
Linkin Park is awesome. Yeah, my wife is
Yeah.
a huge Linkin Park fan. Numb Encore, that's like
Yes.
such a great tune. With Jay.
Oh my gosh, that whole album's really good.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed that whole album. I think that mashup thing was good. There was one mashup back then because they were doing them all. It was Corn and them Franchise Boys. It was
Okay, I don't
Lean
know.
with it, Rock with it, and what was Corn's big song?
I don't even know. Corn
Freak
was
on a
off my
Leash.
radar.
Freak on a
Oh yeah,
Leash.
yeah. Freak on a
Freak on a
Leash. Yeah,
Leash.
yeah. I remember the video from that. Yeah, that was
It
a
was a
cool video.
mashup of those two songs, like the Numb
So,
Encore was.
so what kind of country are you into? Like the new stuff or the older stuff?
So I do like a little bit of the newer stuff. I was real big into Darius Rucker. I
Oh
really
yeah,
like
yeah.
him. He's really good. Rascal
Wagon Wheel.
Flats. Yeah, well, Wagon Wheel. That's my joint.
Yeah, yeah. Rascal
What
Flats.
else?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like Rascal. Tim McGraw. Really enjoyed
Oh
Tim
yeah.
McGraw. A lot of his songs. I don't really like what he stands for, but I like his songs.
I don't
Uh,
really like. I don't pay attention to their politics. It makes it so much easier to listen to music.
I
Blake
feel like
Shelton.
country is the most political of all the
Oh
music.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
it's crazy.
Tim McGraw. I told David. You know David Lovell, right?
Mhm.
The guy that posts the music shows. You should listen to his music shows. You guys got similar tastes. You might like
Oh,
his stuff.
really?
Yeah, the shows that he
Oh, that's
posts
cool.
like almost every day he puts them up, and they've always got a theme. So if you like the theme, give it a listen and see what you think. We just did a show of UK artists, but I did it with him yesterday. But so I was telling this, the song by Tim McGraw. Oh my God, I'm drawing a blank. Live Like You Were Dying.
Absolutely.
So the very first time I heard that song, I was on my way to meet my friend Chris. And when I met him, I hadn't seen him in a few years, but I knew he was sick. And so I went and we had coffee together, and he told me he had been diagnosed with stomach cancer and he was going to die.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, and then like and I'd heard that song on the way there, Live Like You Were Dying, and then on the way home I heard it again because it had just come out, so they're playing it a lot, and I was like in tears driving because it was just listening to that and thinking about my friend who is 30, and I was a couple years older than him, I think. Yeah, because it was early 2000s, and I turned 30 in 2001, so this might be like 2005, 2006. And yeah, he died a couple years later. He lasted a lot longer than they thought he would, but he did that. He Live Like You Were Dying. He was, every moment he was talking to people in the hospital. He was meeting out because he was in the palliative care ward, which is all old people. So he was going talking to these old people who their kids weren't coming to visit them anymore because they knew they were going to die, and they were just off in a room waiting to die basically. So he was going around and talking to every one of them. And when he died, like they all wanted to go to the funeral, and
Oh, wow.
yeah, and the pastor of our church, he had gone to visit him, and they became best friends, and he didn't even go to our church, but he knew me, and he knew my friend was in the hospital, so he went and visited him, and they got to know each other, and I sang at his funeral, and I was a pallbearer, and so whenever I hear that song, I think of my friend, and he's just such a great songwriter, Tim McGraw. So.
Country music is, I think that's why I like that in rap so much. I think those are two of the best storytelling
Yeah.
forms of music, in my opinion. I know some people like rock and there's stories you can be told there, but there's something about, rap, and there's something about country when they're really telling stories. There's a Lee Brice song called Boy.
Okay.
And ever since my son was born, that song just hits me in the feels a little bit more every time because it's just like the words mean a little bit more. I understand it more. You know, when
Yeah.
you like me
I'm gonna
singing
check
and
that out because
listening to that song.
I
Oh,
don't
it's great.
know that one, so I'll definitely check it out.
It's very good.
Will Smith, Just the Two of Us. Have you heard that one?
What? Let me tell you something.
Oh,
That was one of the first songs I played on the
okay.
way home with Grayson. I had that
Okay.
on the
Yeah.
playlist ready to go. Just a
Yeah.
fantastic song.
Well, when that song came out, my kid was the same age as Jaden. I think Jaden is. You know, would he be like late 20s probably right now?
Wow. No, don't say that.
He probably is, because
Don't
how
say
long ago did
that.
he do Karate Kid? Like, it's been a while.
I guess
It's
it's been
been
about
probably 10
12,
years.
10 years. Yeah, 10, 12
Yeah,
years, I
yeah.
would think.
So yeah, but I knew every single lyric, and I was a fan of the original "Just the Two of Us" by Grover Washington. So you know, when he rapped to that song, it was awesome, and I know every single lyric. You know, like 5 years old, bringing comedy. Every time I look at you, I see man, a little me, just like me. Wait and see, want to be tall, make you laugh because you got your dad's ears and all. You know,
It's
and
just
then
a great song. Who would have
at the
thought Will
very end,
Smith would have an iconic like rap
oh,
song like that? It just
at
hits you
at
in the
the end,
feels.
at the end when his kid says, "How much am I getting paid for this, Dad?" I love that. So awesome.
He got paid for that though. Him and Mama
Oh
got
yeah,
paid for that though.
oh yeah. Him and Willow did okay. Uh, you know, yeah. There's another one. You know, like they've been in the public eye forever, and they've had their issues, and I think they might have even split up at one point, but they're still together, I think.
No. They didn't split up. They had the entanglement on the Red Room.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they were
I
the
don't know.
entanglement couple. That's where the Will Smith meme comes from, where he's
Oh,
sitting in the
okay.
chair looking disgusted. Because
Yeah,
she's like telling him to his face, yeah, I slept with this guy. And yeah, so there's that.
but they're still together. So.
They have open marriage.
Oh, there you go. Hey.
Like they pretty much have acknowledged
Yeah.
it and talk about
Okay. Okay. Well, she's yeah. That's, you know what? It's not bad if you can get it. I'll just say no. I just couldn't. I can barely handle my wife. I don't think I could handle anymore.
I definitely can't.
Yeah. So you know what? We'll probably wrap this up because it's like 32 minutes. But I'm definitely gonna have you on again. Maybe what I'll do is I'll try to get Keela to come on and have you on at the same time, and then we'll put something else up there for the picture for her. You know, we'll do something like this. You know, and then we can have, you know, and then this would be the Beyonce or Von Wagner or whatever we were gonna do. We'll figure it out.
You gotta Photoshop Vaughn and holding the WWE either tag or both with the world title.
Now the only problem is I don't know if the audio would work. I'll have to test that out. But yeah, we're definitely gonna. But if you know what, if she won't do it, I'll definitely have you on again because this was a lot of fun and I feel like we barely got started. So, and thanks for putting up with me. I'm trying to figure out my freaking lighting. It's a little better than it was the last time, but I just got new lights for Christmas, and it's a stupid. I got a ceiling light, and if I shut it off, you can't see nothing. So I don't know what the hell to do, but I'll figure it out.
Well, you see, I'm in the garage. You know, I got
really?
boxes I still got to unpack. I got Christmas stuff I just put up.
And you still look better than I do. So what am I? You know, what do I got to do? I don't know. But anyways, let's wrap this baby up. This was live. I don't know if anybody was watching, but they'll be watching later. So let us know what you think. Subscribe to the channel and give us some feedback and let us know what you think. So for Scott, I've been Grampa Dez, and this has been Cup of Joe with Grampa Dez. And as our friend Keela likes to say,